There will be times when you're going to take a photograph and it's perhaps in low light. You'll press the button on your camera and the little flash will pop up all on its own. That's an indication that the camera thinks it has to use flash. Generally speaking, it's right. There are occasions when it doesn't actually need to, and there are other ways around it. But for the moment, let's assume that when the flash pops up, you need to use flash. Now, when you're going to take a picture with your little automated flash on the top of the camera, it'll do the job. It will get you a photograph. It may not be the most amazing picture, but it will get you a picture of sorts. Because it's a very, very tiny light source, the light from it will be very harsh and very direct, and that's not necessarily the best light for taking a picture in. So the next thing you can do about that would be to get yourself a dedicated flash gun. Now, a dedicated flash gun isn't actually part of the camera, it's something which you fit onto the top like that. It's called dedicated because the flash gun and the camera will speak to each other. But it has to be the right flash gun for your camera. For example, it'd be no good putting a Sony flash gun onto a Pentax camera because they just get in a huff and wouldn't speak to one another. The great thing with a dedicated flash gun is that it's a slightly larger light source, so the light will be a little bit nicer in your picture. Also, you can see the distance between the lens and the light source is much greater than with your little on-camera one, which won't pop up at the moment. That's going to have an impact on red eye. Red eye is caused by the light from the flash bouncing off the blood vessels in the back of your eye, or your subject's eye, and coming straight up the lens. Because the flashlight is higher, the light will probably bounce back, but it'll come under the camera, and therefore you won't get the red eye. The best thing about it of all is that you can swivel the head around, you can turn this about, you can really start to take control of what the light's doing. You could also fit a diffuser to it. That fits on the front there, and that kind of bashes the light around and softens it. There is one other possible solution. If you feel like investing in one, a hammerhead flash. These are really, really great. They fit on a bracket and it goes on the bottom of your camera like that. That's quite a big chunky thing, but these are very, very powerful. You have an even larger light source on the top here. It too can be bounced around all over the place, but even better, with a press of a button, you can just take it off the bracket and you can kind of move it around and bounce light off walls. You can point it where you want it to go. What do I mean by bouncing light and the characteristics of light as well, such as harsh light or soft light? What's that all about? Let's go and have a look. I'll see if I can show you. I like to use the analogy of water for light because it's a far more visual medium. You can see what I'm on about. Imagine that is your flash gun. If you fire a blast of directional flash straight at someone, you have a kind of rod of light, a bit like this. Now, that's pretty harsh. It's all going one way and it's kind of like a wash, a bam of light straight into somebody. Let me show you what I mean. Lorna, can I just borrow you for a moment? Now, that's it. Go back towards the path just a bit. Maybe that way, tad. That's it. Perfect. Right, weight on one leg. If I'm going to take a photograph of Lorna and give her a blast of direct flash, it's obviously not going to be particularly pleasant, right? It's all coming in one direction and it's not very nice. When you get a blast full on of water, that's where you're going to get burnt highlights and black backgrounds. It's not a nice kind of a light at all. Your second option would be to add a diffuser to your flash. Pop something over the front, something that's going to just kind of shatter that directional shaft of light. Now, as you can see, that is a much, much softer, much, much nicer, kind of gentler light to be photographing someone with. But possibly the best of the lot would be to use a direct jet of light, of water, but bounce it off something. If I bounce the light by turning the flash head towards a wall like this, can you see that lovely kind of soft little droplets of light? They're just kind of wrapping themselves around Lorna, and that's going to give you some of the nicest light possible to shoot a picture. You could do the same with the ceiling. You could fire it straight off the ceiling, but watch out, because whatever colour your wall or ceiling is, it will also pick that up too in the colour of the light. When you're pondering what on earth you're going to do with your flash and you're trying to remember bouncing it up and bouncing it off walls and diffusers, Try and think of Lorna and her sacrifice here. I think she's done extraordinarily well. Perhaps you should raise a glass to her next time you're in the pub. Cow!